am the stone that the builder refused. I am the visual, the inspiration that made ladies sing the blues. I'm the spark that makes you.
So, Ben's immaturity is something that has been talked about for years within the fandom. And in this Ben 10 discussion, I'm gonna make some points as to why his immaturity makes sense within the canonicity of the shows. Not a behind the scenes reason, as we pretty much know like the story as to why the decision was made to make him less mature, but an in-universe reason as to why Ben acts the way that he does and why it makes sense. I might reference, the real world behind the scenes reason, but I'm not gonna go deep into it because it's, again, we all know it, it's pretty straightforward. But if I'm being honest, I kind of just wanted to do a uncut video where I address some things that maybe some people overlook, ignore, or just don't bring up. A constant argument and complaint that people always, especially in recent times, have brought up is that Ben is constantly, in every episode pretty much, having to learn the same lesson again and again and again. But I say that it makes sense that he's constantly being mean to his cousin because he's a child. Let's not forget, he is a 10-year-old boy. His brain hasn't even fully developed yet, so it makes sense that he keeps messing up and constantly having to learn the same lesson in multiple episodes. How many times did someone have to tell you to stop doing something when you were a kid? Or how many times did you have to tell a kid to stop doing something? Children are immature. They don't listen, and during their development, they are constantly learning, sometimes the same lessons, in order for that information to be properly processed. Again, he's just a kid, so whenever I see people look at 10 or 11-year-old Ben and hate his character, I kind of just shake my head and laugh, as if like they forgot what it was like to even be a kid or act that age. Character development doesn't happen in a day, just like learning how to use the Omnitrix doesn't happen in a day. It's a learning process, and it takes experience. And for those who say Ben doesn't have character development in the original series, I say he does. Season 1 Ben is not Season 4 or Secret of the Omnitrix Ben. He cares a lot more about his family and understands what it is to be a hero. Yeah, he does sometimes do it for the thrill and still uses his powers for mundane or irresponsible means. But for the third time, he's just a kid. A kid with extraterrestrial power and the entire world on his shoulders. I mean, is he an asshole? Yes. But that's half the reason why we love him. At least for me, anyway. Regardless of his behavior, we end up loving him for it because just like Tony Stark and characters like him, he's a lovable asshole who does the right thing in the end, regardless of how many mistakes he's made. They said it best in Ultimate Alien.
You think I don't know? When it's hero time, if I mess up, somebody could die. From what you told me, if we mess up this time, everybody could die. Maybe that's too much to have in your head when you have to win. Maybe if I pretend everything's a big joke, when the time comes, I'll be able to do what I have to do.
I've been thinking that maybe another reason for Ben's immaturity from the early days is possibly because he doesn't know how to interact with others due to him not having that many friends. I'm not saying having a small group of friends could lead to someone being unable to communicate with others. I'm saying Ben, at the age of 10 or 11 years old, who as far as we know, outside of Gwen and Kevin, has no friends. In a flashback episode of Omniverse, we see Ben hanging out with Gwen, Lucy, Jonesy, and Cooper. Cousin Lucy, I'm assuming, because she isn't always around, doesn't live in Bellwood. Or at least not in the same neighborhood as Ben, and this goes the same with Cooper. Maybe they don't see each other often because they live too far away from each other. This leaves Ben having two close friends, those being Gwen and Jonesy. And that's fine, having two friends. I mean, as long as you have one, you're great. But if we backtrack a little bit, we learn from Alien Force, the Gauntlet, Ben used to be best friends with JT until he left Ben for Cash on account of not wanting to be bullied anymore. This, alongside his constant clashing with Gwen, probably swayed his behavior in a way to where he started to become comfortable treating others in a certain way. Lately, a lot of reaction channels on YouTube have been starting to reacting to Ben 10. And as happy as I am to see my favorite non-comic book superhero getting the attention he deserves, I've been noticing in some comment sections of a fellow Ben 10 reactor, I believe it's Kasib, who is currently watching the Alien Force era. Something stood out to me way back during his War of the Worlds video reactions, that he pointed out that people were saying, don't tell him about season 3. And I really hate that. They're not pushing their ideas onto others, but using their experiences and views on the season to inadvertently or maybe even purposefully sway the way someone else views the season for the first time. I'm seeing that same section of the fandom saying that they wish that the season 3 episodes of Alien Force didn't exist, which I think is a bit over dramatic. Now, everyone is entitled to their opinion, therefore my opinion is that I think it's a bit extreme to say that you wish that these episodes just weren't a thing at all. Like, I get it. We're all angry at Cartoon Network for interfering and telling the showrunners to change Ben's personality and the way the story operated. But how do you know that you would have liked the intended episodes in season 3 versus what we got? There's literally no way to know. Sure, there's information you can dig up about the intended plots, and you can view them as interesting, but there's no way to fully know if it would have been better than what we got. The way we view media nowadays has shifted, and because of that, it feels as if we can't just enjoy something. We have to take it apart and analyze characters and do video essays on the various elements of a show, when at the end of the day, it's all just entertainment. We can make theories and speculate, and that's all fun, but at the end of the day, these are just fictional characters, and we're on a ride to see the journey they take. Just like people are coming out and expressing their love for Omniverse and giving the reboot a chance, I'm gonna say that I actually understand Ben's immaturity, and it makes sense because, let's be honest, it doesn't take us 22 to 30 minutes to understand and learn from our mistakes. It's a process, and sometimes, whether it's getting over a bad habit, an addiction, or changing your behavior for the better, some people can easily slip back into their old ways due to some kind of conflict, and they'll have to climb back to the surface and try to better themselves once again. So that was my little discussion on the way I view Ben's immaturity and personality, and how I view those who hate season 3 of Alien Force, and just that. And also I forgot to say this earlier, but he's 15 in Alien Force. I know we all know that, but if a 15-year-old saved the entire universe, of course they're gonna get cocky and get a big head because they just saved the entire universe. But anyway, those are my thoughts. I know it's been a while since I did one of these, and I've had this specific topic on my mind for a while. So I kind of just wanted to put this out there. Thank you for watching / listening. Leave a like if you want, a comment if you want, and I'll see you when I see you, which will be hopefully soon, because I'm trying to get back into the whole YouTube thing. But yeah, thank you, and bye.